The COVID pandemic isn't over. The COVID pandemic is still worse than you think it is. The COVID pandemic was always worse than you thought it was, and it's not going to go away, nor was it ever going to go away by wishing really hard that it would, pretending that it was never there in the first place, or through any means other than medical research that was always going to take longer than you or I likely wanted it to, because that's how science works. The reason you might think that any of this is not the case is because the world around us has been asked to go back to normal, and most of us have been varying degrees compliant. Not because what any of I just said is untrue, but because we exist under capitalism, mass media is very effective, and it worked on you. The fact is, there was a global plague, exacerbated by global institutional incompetence and uncaring that, in addition to killing and disabling millions of us, effectively froze entire sectors of global economic commerce, specifically in media and consumer goods, for about 2.5 years. And because the wealthy 1% of individuals and political institutions worldwide who lost out in that period financially decided that was quite long enough for their losses to continue, the rest of us have been all asked to not only go back to normal, but also to forget as quickly as possible that those 2.5 years of global plague ever happened in the first place, or at least that it wasn't really that bad, which is why most corporate entertainment media and entertainment media reporting that merely repeats talking points either without examination or with an agenda of its own never mentions it when talking about studio profits, corporate profits in general, box office, streaming numbers, TV ratings, company consolidation, audience tracking, wages, unions, spending, buying, all things directly related to and affected by the pandemic from the start and still affected in ongoing ways. Therefore, in the same way that you'd be very skeptical of any historical presentation about significant events of the mid-1940s that failed to mention, oh, and also World War II was happening, so that probably affected this in some respect, you should have that same skepticism and apply it to anyone talking about anything happening in business, politics, or culture that does not make, oh, also, that global viral plague probably contributed to this too, a central part of their thesis, because it is central to everything, whether we want it to be or not, for the foreseeable future. Thank you for listening.